Welcome to My Life on a GLP1. I'm your host, Scott Johnson, and as always, I'm joined by my brilliant co-host, Sarah. Today, we're diving into something fascinating that affects every single person listening to this show. It is a lesson in global geography. We dug into the data that shows how where you live literally can influence your access to GLP1 medications.
Thanks, Scott. And wow, when we started digging into the geographic data, it was honestly shocking. We're not just talking small differences here, we're talking about dramatic regional divides that can make or break someone's treatment journey.
Right? So let's start with the United States, where the pattern is crystal clear. The Northeast is absolutely dominating GLP1 adoption rates. We're talking states like Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York.
That is kind of interesting, but not all that surprising.
These areas have adoption rates that are sometimes double what we see in southern states. And it's not just about population density, there's something deeper happening here.
It really comes down to insurance coverage, doesn't it? Like, I was talking to someone from Alabama last week, and their insurance flat out refuses to cover Ozempic or Mounjaro unless you have diabetes. But meanwhile, someone in Vermont gets covered for weight management with minimal pushback.
That's such a perfect example. And it gets even more complicated when you factor in state Medicaid policies. Some states are progressive about obesity treatment, others, not so much.
Right now, if we hop across the Atlantic to the UK, they have their own version of this geographic lottery, and they literally call it that, the postcode lottery.
Oh, the NHS system is wild. Depending on which clinical commissioning group you fall under, your access to GLP-1s can be completely different from someone living just a few miles away.
Exactly, and some areas have these incredibly strict BMI requirements or require you to fail multiple other treatments first. It's like they're playing different games with the same rulebook.
It is worth noting that Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland operate their own health systems separate from NHS England. Coverage decisions and implementation timelines differ, adding another layer of complexity to UK access patterns. Generally speaking, Scotland has been somewhat more progressive in commissioning weight management services, while Wales and Northern Ireland have faced even greater capacity constraints than England.
Private clinics and online telemedicine services now offer consultations and prescriptions. However, these patients must pay out of pocket for both the medical visit and the medication itself. This private market serves people with means while those dependent on NHS care wait. It is precisely the kind of inequality that the NHS was designed to prevent.
But then you look at Canada, and it's a completely different story. The growth has been absolutely explosive across all provinces, like uniformly incredible adoption rates.
Yeah, Ontario, British Columbia, Alberta, everyone's seeing similar patterns. And here's what's really exciting. Canada is about to become the first major market with biosimilar GLP-1s.
That's huge. Generic versions could completely change the accessibility game. Imagine getting the same medication for a fraction of the cost.
Totally, but let's talk about something that affects everyone, regardless of country, urban versus rural access. This is where things get really challenging.
Oh man, rural access is tough. You've got fewer endocrinologists, longer wait times, and pharmacies that might not even stock these medications regularly because they're so expensive to keep on hand.
Right? And then there are the supply shortages. I mean, we've all been there. You show up to your pharmacy and they're like, sorry, we don't have your dose this month.
It's so frustrating. And urban areas tend to recover from shortages faster because they have more pharmacy chains and better distribution networks. Rural folks are often left scrambling.
I actually heard from someone in Montana who drives 3 hours round trip just to get to a pharmacy that reliably stocks their medication. 3 hours!
That's heartbreaking, but not uncommon. And you know what's interesting? Some people are getting creative, forming carpools to pharmacies and ordering from different states.
Yeah, the lengths people go to for treatment access really highlights how broken some of these systems are. But here's what gives me hope. Awareness is growing. More insurance companies are starting to cover these medications, and policymakers are finally paying attention.
Absolutely. And as more data comes out showing the long-term health benefits, not just weight loss, but cardiovascular protection, kidney benefits, it becomes harder to justify these geographic disparities.
Exactly. Scott, what's your advice for listeners who are dealing with access challenges based on where they live?
Great question. First, don't give up. Work with your doctor to appeal insurance denials, look into patient assistance programs, and consider telemedicine if local specialists are limited. The landscape is changing fast, so what's not possible today might be next month.
Perfect advice, and remember, you're not alone in this journey. Connect with others in your area, share resources, and keep advocating for better access.
And if you find yourself making 7 phone calls to fill a prescription or driving across state lines to find a pharmacy with stock, know that you are not alone. Millions of people across North America and the UK are navigating the same challenges, and their collective experience is slowly but surely pushing systems to improve access and equity.
Understanding these patterns is the first step toward addressing them. Patients can advocate more effectively when they understand the systemic barriers they face. Now, I know you have some staggering final statistics to share, but before you do, I ask each of you, our listeners, to take a moment, leave us a comment, or give a 5-star rating wherever you stream your podcasts. I personally thank you in advance for doing this. And don't forget to check out Scott's website at mylifeonglp1.com for the latest news, tips, and tricks. You can also drop us an email at scott@mylifeonglp1.com or Sarah with an H at mylifeonglp1.com. Now tell us, Scott, what final numbers do you want to share with us today?
Multiple nationally representative surveys conducted in 2024 and early 2025 tell us that about 12% of U.S. adults have used a GLP-1 medication, and approximately 6% are current users. These numbers represent remarkable market penetration for medications that only became widely known to the public in the past few years. If 6% of American adults are current users, that translates to approximately 15 million people taking these medications at present. So whether you are covered by insurance or paying privately, know that you are a part of a community of 15 million who all support each other. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for joining us. I'm Scott Johnson, along with Sarah, reminding you that geography might influence your access, but it doesn't define your possibilities. Stay healthy, strong, and supportive, and always love your journey.